What's up, y'all? Down South 77 here again, and this is 3 Star Draw. This is an adult collector channel where we talk about G.I. Joe and G.I. Joe stuff, primarily focusing on classified. Every now and then, we'll take a look at some other figures from some other lines, just other stuff I'm interested in or might pick up along the way. And we'll do a little bit of news, although I don't really do much news because by the time I'm able to do a video on it, you guys have already heard it and you probably don't want to hear me talk much about it anyway, even though I do like to give my opinion on some of the stuff they're doing. So, welcome back to the Limelight series. This is my series where I will take a character and a figure and put it in the limelight. And we're going to talk a little bit about that. And I like to pull up some other media and show off other stuff that figure, that character has been in. If things that I've got that I can put up. So today's video was the result of a poll that I put on the community section of the page, and it is a figure that won by a landslide. Last time I did this, I kind of ended it too early. I think the guy the I did shipwreck, and I think he would have won anyway, but some of the other choices did get some votes, so I wanted to let this one run a little while longer. So today we're going to be talking about the Cobra Saboteur Firefly. And when I was getting everything together, getting my resources, I realized that this is the first video like this I've done that we've got two versions of the character already. I didn't even think about it when I started getting everything out. So we're going to be taking a look at number 21 and number 84 in the classified line. And we talking about some of the history and things like that with him. So yeah, he's Firefly is one of my favorite Cobras. He's one of the best badasses in the Cobra Rogues gallery, at least until they kind of made him suck later. And I'm sure already know exactly what I'm talking about, but we're going to talk about it here in a minute. So without further ado, let's go ahead and take a look at number 21 and number 84, Cobra Firefly. All right, Yens, let's go ahead and take a look at this bad boy. So as you can see, I've got him out. I've got number 21. I got number 84. And I've got the OG number 84 right here. This is my original Firefly from when I was a kid. He had a mishap with his thumb, as many of them were prone to do. This is probably one of the most played with figures that I have. This dude was in everything. He was in all of my playtime as a kid. Um, Sounds like a bird. Make me a bird and fly away. Blow me up with that dynamite. Always liked this figure. I think that's why he was so popular. He was exactly what a villain really needed to be in comics and cartoons. Actually, in any media, like you didn't know anything about him. Oh, his file card, excuse me, file card, primary military specialties, sabotage, demolitions, and terror. He's got a threefold primary specialty. Birthplace and name are classified. Now, here's what I always thought was cool about Firefly. No one knows what his real name is or what he looks like. And we'll find more out about that later, too. He's known by his work, expert in all NATO and Warsaw explosives and detonators, places his charges in the one place that affords the maximum damage. No question about his infiltration skills, since no one has ever reported seeing him come or seeing him go any target area. Even Cobra Commander does not know much about Firefly. Fees are paid into a numbered Swiss bank account and are always payable in advance. He makes no guarantees and gives no refunds. His reputation speaks for itself. Show me the money if you want that stuff blown to smithereens. Set him there. So I've got out, as usual, my trusty order of battle. Number 3, as always. He is on the back in this one, and he is in more of the bluish. There he is beside a Televiper and behind the twins there. He's always kind of more of a bluish tint in the cartoon, but you know that's how they drew gray. Every gray in the cartoon was a shade of blue, except Major Blood. That's weird. Well, hey, there's Major Blood, and we already talked about him. Sorry, Jesse. So there is that right there. So I'm gonna go ahead and set Mini Me over here. That is issue number 24. That was his first comic appearance alongside Wild Weasel. Another one of my favorites that I hope we get to see soon, but I'm afraid when we do, it's going to be alongside a $400 HasLab. And then over here, of course, I have my trusty VHS copy of the best Sunbow story in all of Sunbow. And I will still die on that hill. The Revenge of Cobra. That's when you first see him at the beginning, and he flies out in a trouble bubble and attacks the convoy and throws a bunch of incendiary grenades. And you're like, whoa, this dude's awesome. Then, of course, you get to see Scrap Iron in the Stinger and blows with the most accurate missile shot I've ever seen. He blows up the hitch on the thing. You know what he does. You've seen it. So he was introduced in 1984, which somehow is not my favorite year of Joe's. I always tell everybody it's 85 because I really like the Dreadnoks. It really ought to be 84 because most all of my other favorite characters were introduced in 84. I guess I like the actual Dreadnoks that much. Zartan come out in 84. But I always say 85. It's not like I had the USS Flag and 8 shipwrecks to crew it with. So over here, my favorite issue, of course, because first issue appearance of Scrap Iron, that is a very key issue for Firefly. That is the issue where he gives Scrap Iron the order to blow up the station wagon that's got Billy and Candy and the spokesman for Mothers Against Drunk Drivers. And they also inadvertently, but they didn't really care, also murdered the Soft Master, which probably was not a good move because that's automatically going to get you on Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow's radar. But hey, they did it. So I got another comic, but we'll save that for a few minutes. Let's go ahead and take a look at the number 21 version. This is the Cobra Island. I actually did get this when I first got this figure. He was going for so much. I just couldn't get him. Boxed, and I bought this one loose from my buddy Jesse. He had an extra one, and he actually sent me this one. And this was where my classified Firefly, or my classified Firefly come from. This one was kind of divisive when it come out. Said I wasn't into the line yet when it first come out, because people wanted this look for him. But you cannot deny how awesome this figure is. And even though we don't get to see all of it, I mean, that is one of the best face sculpts in the classified line. In my opinion, it's number 3. Blood, then Scrap Iron, and then Firefly, which works for me because those two were always inseparable. Played with them as a kid. Me and my cousin Pop Blender played Joe's, I took Scrap Iron and he played Firefly. But when I played with them by myself, they were always together, and that's why both of them are so loose. But a lot of people didn't like that he come with the big bomb vest. It looks good, but it does hinder a lot of his movement. The pauldrons move on this side. This side, that's kind of hard to get those, I guess, grenades there. That's kind of hard to get them to move. It kind of limits his articulation, but it also limits it doing that when you want to have him posing. So it really, like, if you wanted to have him planting this bomb, it was kind of hard to pose him around. He is a little bit loose. A lot of the Cobra Island figures seem to have that problem. He's one of the Joes that will kind of move on their own, and the legs do funny things and tend to do that. he is one of the only figures that I have displayed that I have put on a stand with one of the claw stands just because of that. But I love the way this figure looks. I'm not crazy about this either, but it also fits the character. When Cobra Island figures come out, they were trying to update. They were right in that spot between people did not like the futuristic look of the first wave or two, trying to find that blend of updating them to modern times, but keeping the classic look, which they did with the gray camo and all. I always have him holding this dynamite. This is one of my favorite accessories in Classified. I freaking love this old school, just it's just a brick of dynamite. It's like he's getting ready to hand it off to Wile E. Coyote to go after Roadrunner. Roadrunner joined G.I. Joe, maybe. Is there a G.I. Joe named Roadrunner? If there's not, there should be. Make a note of that, Hasbro. So he did come with the backpack, which does not peg in. I mean, it pegs in. It doesn't stay in very well. It's loose. Part of it, it's just because of the vest is it's so bulky. It goes in, but it pushes it back out. Um, it's in there. I got it in there good now. It's probably the best I've ever got it in there. So he comes with the backpack. It's got a little bit of paint app on it. It's got some detail in it, and that was one of the things about the original Firefly, right? He had that awesome backpack with the toolkit with the removable cover on it, which was the first thing we all lost. So I don't have his stuff out because I haven't seen it in 35 years. So that's all I got left of him, but I'm glad to have him. That figure means a lot to me. So this guy had this pistol. They were still doing the weird futuristic looking weapons. Like I said, they were still in that that melding period of trying to figure out what they wanted to do. But it seemed, I think they really were listening to the fans at the time, and they saw what this line was going to be able to do with these Cobra Island figures. So he got this little aerial drone. It flies around, and doesn't this look like something you shoot at in a video game? Um, Looks like kind of like the little things from BioShock, doesn't it? God, I can hear that alarm in my head. But it's got the infrared and it's got the eye on it. It does have some pretty decent sculpting on it. I like the fan blades, the turbine blades. I think this thing looks really neat. And then it's got the other turbine here to propel it. So if you've ever flown a drone, like you can see this thing working. It needs one to blow out the front, I think. Maybe, let's pretend these swivel. Because otherwise it's just going to go around like this. But it pegs onto the backpack, as you saw, and kind of gives him that Mickey Mouse shoulders. I like this little drone. I just wish they could have done something more with it than what they did. He didn't get like a remote to control it or anything. It just, it's neat. Pegs onto the backpack. We talked about the pistol. He does have the removable infrared goggles. I mean, I'm assuming they're infrared, they're red. And of course that, and I've got his hand all stretched out. Because I like to have him holding this. I'd like to find like just 5 of these just to have to put. So it actually pegs on here on the bottom. It does not stay. I can never get it to stay in there. It when you move him around and go posing him and stuff, it'll fall off. Why is this? I get ready to do a video and the stuff stays in there. I swear I'm not lying to you. So that's number 21. Got your standard articulations. They were still having issues getting these drop down hips right, and uh, they've mostly got them fixed now. You look at some of the figures, and like, yeah, I thought they fixed this. Like the don't get me started on the Cobra dude from the fire team and the Python Patrol one. I still have not tried to fix that yet. Apparently, you can pull the leg off and shave off a little bit, and I just don't. I don't really want to go carving on my figures. I'm still of the mind that we shouldn't have to. So put all that back together. Put his gun in his hand, just like so. And Firefly, when we first saw him, he was a saboteur, right? He was a stealthy saboteur. He's mysterious. Like if you remember the one episode of the cartoon, Cobra Commander called him Firefly, and he's like, "Don't use my name," and like it's Firefly. It's like it's not like your name is Dave Firefly. It's a code name. So that's how secretive the dude was. um, just super mysterious characters. All of our good mystery characters are that way, right? All your Darth Vader. Think of just all of them. You don't know why they're the way they are. They just are. So in the comic arc, he was in and out of the comic arc for Marvel. Did all kind of stuff. He was present in the Cobra Island stuff. He was one of the last Cobra operatives to leave Springfield when the fall of Springfield and all of that stuff was going on. He fought the October Guard in Afghanistan, fought the Joes in the Baltic Sea on a glacier. Let's see, what else did he do here? He tried to steal Battle Force 2000 Vector, and then he fought to secure an island that formed near Cobra Island, which actually wound up sinking, and he saved Mindbender's life. And for that, Mindbender took the blame for it. So let's go back and we will take a look at this one, because this was the one when we got this one last year. This was the one that everybody was waiting on. It's this figure. This is one of the best interpretations of a classic figure, bringing him up just into the classified line with the articulation. This is one of the best translations. They took everything, his little pouches there. On here, they give him those and actually made them C4. He's still got the grenades. He's got the pouches over here. They did a fantastic job bringing him up to date for classified and keeping the dead on, spot on classic look. And with this one, we got this awesome RC car. I thought this was just a really great inclusion. He's got the RC car with the plastic explosive on him, a la Scarface. No, no, you die. I don't kill women and children, you cockroach. So we got that with him, and we got this, which I kept calling a dead man switch because he plants explosives, and it's got the little wheel on it. It's actually the remote for the RC car, which makes sense because I just complained about the drone. So we got a controller for the RC car, so he can drive it up under a Joe vehicle and blow it up and never be seen. That's his thing, right? You got to be careful with these wheels. This peg's on the back of the backpack here, and when you're trying to pop it up in there, these wheels will pop off. I've lost two of them on two different occasions, and luckily I have found them. So he's got the arm pauldron with the sheath for the knife in it. Knife. He's got the knife, Mike Tyson knife here, and he's got that. You can see it. It's there. So just fantastic. That's what I like about these classified figures is all of the stuff we had to use imagination for when they lost their primary weapon. Now they actually have those weapons they can pull out. So he's got that. He's got his Dead Man Switch RC car. And then they give him his backpack. They updated his backpack, and it is much more detailed than this one. They're both really great sculpted. I kind of wish they could have combined the two, but this is the shape of the classic backpack, and this one you can see all the tools and stuff sculpted in on this one. Which when they did this one, they were trying to make it look like the original version of this one, but they just kind of went a little odd with making it the shape it is. This is the shape of his classic backpack. See, he's got the grenades and stuff in there. He's got some kind of a readout there. You know, I don't know what that is. It's got a digital uh, readout thing for who knows what. To me, this looks like a canister with a bomb in it, maybe, and maybe that's the timer that the Predator had on his wrist. I don't know. And then we do have more of the classic look of his machine gun. I wish, or his submachine gun. I wish I still had mine so I could compare them, but I'm sure you know what it looks like. The suppressor there is removable, which really isn't a suppressor on his as much as it's a baffle. Not really a silencer, but it's more of a flash suppressor than anything, so he can fire from the shadows. Magazine does come out on it. I like this gun with him. A lot of people didn't. A lot of people hate this gun, but that's why they hate it. They say it's too small and it doesn't fit in his hand well. If you put his finger on the trigger, it fits a little better, but yeah, so that's kind of an issue. That's really about the only main thing with that is you can't really make him hold it. I just like the way it looks. I just wish they'd have done a little better job on the feasibility end of it. Pegs there on the side of his backpack. And of course, he's got these goggles, which on here you've got infrared, and on here it looks like it can go full infrared or night vision. And of course, it's got the head strap that goes over the top of his head on this one. I like these goggles better. Those are fine, but we got these, and they don't look right on every figure when they do these. I don't like tunnel rats. Wolf spiders are okay, but to me, he looks better without them. Uh, I like these, and also that green looks really cool. If you hit it with the right kind of light, it'll glow under a black light, and you can also angle it where it will catch the light just right and almost reflect. I did that in one of my pictures, and it actually has a little bit of texture to it on that green right there. I don't know if I can get it to focus on it. Yeah, there it goes. So it's actually got a lot of texture to it. So those are the two figures of Firefly, and there's been a lot of debate on which one is better. A lot of people had issues with his torso being loose. Mine is not actually. This figure is way looser than this one for me, but I know a lot of people weren't that lucky with this Firefly figure. Mine is still posable. I can get him to do everything he needs to do. Um, he still ratchets okay. This does kind of get in the way a little bit. You can pull this down and get a little more out of him, but you're not getting him much further than that. But I'm just fortunate that mine is still playable. You still posable. So which one do you guys think is better? I want to know down in the comments if you've got both of these figures. Which one of these Fireflies do you like? Do you like the Cobra Island version, or do you like the '84 version? I like them both. It's really hard to pick, but going on the nostalgia, I've got to go with the '84. One thing everybody really kind of raged over was why did they not put this head on him? I haven't taken these off yet. So there's the difference in the head sculpts. This one shows a lot more of the eyes, but you get a lot more of the detail and the sculpting on this one than you do on the other one. A lot of people they did not like that you could see so much of his eyes and the area around his eyes and his eyebrows so much. Kind of looks like that later Cobra Commander figure that we got in the Real American Hero line that looks like when you were a kid and your mom tried to widen the eye holes on the Cooper masks for you. And the camos don't match. So if you swap their heads, it'll work, but they don't match exactly. They should have just used this same head and put this head with this camo, made the camo match exactly, and used that head. Everybody would have been happy. And aside from the folks that did have the issues with the torso ratchet, the people that didn't have that would have had probably been the happiest with any classified figure they've had yet if you put that head on this figure. So I want to know what you guys think. Which one do you not like? Which one do you like? They're both great figures. I usually display the 84 one in my main display, and I have this one in my secondary display right now. But we got to talk about something else, don't we? We know what else we got to talk about. Later on, when you find out Cobra Commander is still alive, which somehow they managed to keep him dead for like 3 years, and he comes back, and it brought a lot of readers back to the comic, and I was one of them. So in issue 98, you see that he's back, and Cobra Commander takes all of his enemies and locks them in that landlocked freighter, and he kicks in Mindbender and who else? Raptor, I think. Cobra Commander kicks them into the freighter, and he says like, this is the best feeling in the world. I have all of my enemies in one place at one time, or something like that. I should have got that issue out. I didn't get it out. So anyway, he detonates it, blows a channel in it. Freighter floats into a dormant volcano, and then he blows the damn volcano up. And our boy Firefly was in that freighter. Now, I don't know what he did to get on Cobra Commander's bad side so bad, because I don't remember anything. But he did, probably just because they didn't use him much anymore. So he was in the freighter, and he died along with Raptor, Fred 7, which deserved a much, much worse death than that. Serpentor's body, Billy was in there. So threw his own son in there. So no more Firefly. Well, a couple years later, the line's kind of sagging. So what are they going to do? We got to talk about it. They do that. This is one of the coolest covers that there are. I love this color, and you actually get Firefly's backstory in this issue. So you find out that he was connected to the Hardmaster's death, which we've known for years that Zartan was actually the one that fired the arrow because he thought he was killing Snake Eyes. Cobra Commander hired him to kill Snake Eyes. Thought he was killing Snake Eyes. He killed the Hardmaster, and they actually show it reflected in his mask here, which I guess in this has got maybe he was cosplaying as Blue Beetle. I don't know. So anyway, you got down here's Cobra Commander offering him some big bucks, showing him the money, and over here you got what looks like the ninja clan of ninjas there. So in this issue, for whatever reason, they decided to make one of the baddest ass characters in Cobra, period, into a damn ninja. And you find out that back in the day, his father was an owed a debt by the Koga Ninja Clan. Maybe it's Koji. I say Koga. I've never heard it pronounced. We like long vowel sounds down here. We turn everything into a long vowel. Ugh. So, anyway, he winds up being adopted into that clan, becomes a master in ninja, which we've never seen Firefly do before. All of a sudden, he's, on par with Slice and Dice. He's commanding red ninjas, It's just the most ridiculous damn thing. I'm glad they brought him back, but like so many elements, they got me back when Cobra Commander come back, but I had already tuned out by the time this happened because everything was going full ninja. So I had him, and I had two figures from 1992. I thought I only had one, but I forgot. I have Slice, and I have this awful abortion of this. Look at this. I mean, man, come on, man. Come on. I know they got to sell toys. Hence, they got that. We got this. But like, he ain't even part of Ninja Force. He's just Firefly V2. So he goes from the stealthiest, most camouflaged sneak in and out, never see him, to neon green. What in the hell, Hasbro? What were you thinking? But they ruined most of the good characters in the 90s that they brought back for V3 and 4 and 10 and 12. So we got him, and we got him. I hope to God we never get him. I'm starting to cherry pick with Classified this year, but when it comes to this, if they get this deep into the well, I don't know that I will still be tuned in. And you know they're going to give him some kind of version of this. Some kind of version of this thing right here. And I'm going to go, I know this has been long, but you guys knew what you were getting into when you signed up. So for this Firefly, he is a Cobra Saboteur. He's also the Paralyzer Driver, which, what in the hell? Okay, yeah, sure. So we got him. So he does get a different file card, and it's actually not a bad file card till you get to the last sentence. I saw, I blew it up. Does that seem like something a guy who says, "Don't use my name," is going to say to anybody? So Firefly has been blowing things up for Cobra since Cobra Commander donned his hood and opened up for business. Cobra expanded to include an entire battalions of bomb planters, arsonists, booby trappers, but Cobra Commander still keeps contacting Firefly. And that is because of the stuff I told you about where he fought the Joes on a glacier and all that kind of stuff. So the Rembrandt of plastic explosive. That is fantastic. That's one of the things that evidently somebody said about him because it's in quotations. Does this look like the Rembrandt of plastic explosive to you? This looks like the Rembrandt of Andy Warhol drunk to me. So, when a job needs precision bombing, Firefly constructs bombs protected by cross-wired anti-tampering switches so complex that they are impossible to defuse. So you got tripwire, you got Lightfoot. Probably most of the Joes are cross-trained in explosive defusing, and nobody can defuse this dude's bomb. Sounds like he earned his money. To me, he earned his money. I don't know what he was doing. Sorry, I got the gain cranked, so that was probably loud. I apologize. So he earned money. He sat on the sidelines eating glue. But what gets me about all of that? That file card for him describes him to a T. That's Firefly we know and love. The last sentence in his file card for V2 says when the time is right, he uses his blade launcher weapon for maximum effect against his unsuspecting targets. His blade launcher weapon with a ripcord. It has a ripcord with it. I know it was 92. They were putting the gimmicks in everything. You see that? I have this. I don't have his gun. I can't find his gun, but I have this ridiculous thing. So the Rembrandt of plastic explosive launches his blade launcher weapon that he pulls a giant ripcord and sends a spinning dreidel after G.I. Joe, the Rembrandt of plastic explosive. So what do you guys think about that? Tell me that in the comments too. Do you want to see V2 Firefly in Classified? Anybody? Bueller? Not me. Let's see less of him and more of these guys. If they do anything with him, put him in Python Patrol, which don't make sense either because it's bright and garish. Do something else with him. Put these two together and release Retro Card Firefly. I'd buy that. To have these two figures put together without kit bashing or swapping, anything like that, I would buy a Retro Card Firefly in a heartbeat. And can you imagine what the artwork on that card would look like? So I know this has been a long one, guys. That's what she said. Here are Firefly and Firefly, Cobra Island. Oops, sorry. Cobra Island and V2. What do you guys think? I keep saying it. I want to know what you guys think about these in the comments because these are two of the better sculpted figures, accessorized figures that we've gotten so far, in my opinion. So, what do y'all think? Which one do y'all like better? And do you want to see Derpy here? I blow stuff up with my saw blade. Anyways, thank you for watching the Limelight on Firefly. I appreciate you guys. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, share this video with all your friends, and let's talk about some G.I. Joes, and we'll be back to do it again. I will see you guys next time on 3-Star Draw. Addendum. For some reason, when I do the Limelight videos, I seem to forget this, so I've got to do my retroactive reviews on the both of the Firefly figures because I didn't put that in the main part of it when I filmed it. So I'm definitely gonna give both of those figures a 4 on both, on Cobra Island 21 and on the V2 the 84 Firefly. They're both 4s. They would probably both be 4.5s if the joints and the articulation was a little better, like the joints were a little tighter, didn't have any loose issues, anything. But for sculpting, accessories, and just getting us awesome Fireflies, they are both a 4 yeehaws out of 5.